Your internet search is over. This is Things I Found Online. With me, Joe Cipriano, the spontaneously ironic Larry Morgan, who is ironically not here. And America's sweetheart, Louise Palanker. Brace yourself for excitement. Radio legends are exploring the internet with our guest, Lisa Goich, and TV superstar, Henry Winkler.
Yay!
Louise.
Yay!
Hooray!
Henry, how are you?
I am so happy to see you any way I can, and today it's through a screen.
Yeah, so we will accept it happily.
Yes.
I like you have a nice fish on your shirt. For
I
those
noticed
of you,
that.
I have three.
Oh,
There are
okay.
three fish. There you go.
The triplets.
Is that carp diem?
Well, you know what? That's a Joe. That was brilliant. Actually,
Joe
I
is-
loved fly fishing for trout.
Oh, wow.
right.
And the only adult book I ever wrote is about fly fishing for trout.
Wow.
And my son's girlfriend, who is a designer of clothing, Rachel Antonoff, made this for me.
It's
Wow.
beautiful, and I bet she could put anything on it,
Well, of
like
course.
whatever your interests are,
She could.
Like
she could.
like a kettle of tea.
Honestly, and I don't mean this in any way, but for Christmas, she made a red sweatshirt with women's reproductive organs on it.
Nice.
I think that's
It's avant-garde.
Very.
yeah. I think that's suitable for any occasion.
Rachel Antonoff.
So
It's
Henry,
very
I'm
Christmas.
wondering,
Tell me.
you've gone on the internet and Googled yourself, yes?
No.
Okay. If you did right now, you would find there's 1,120,000
Wow.
search results in 58 seconds. Oh, no, 0.58 seconds, which is less
0.58.
seconds.
Yeah.
So according
at
to
that.
Google,
Yes.
and we can check this with an expert, which would be
Because
you.
I'm here.
Yes. Henry Franklin Winkler is an American actor, comedian, director, producer, and author. You don't really need that last comma, but okay. Winkler is known for his role as Arthur Fonzarelli in the 1970s American sitcom Happy Days.
Mm-hmm.
And did you know, Henry, if you scroll down to the bottom of that first page
Yeah.
Yeah.
of your search results, it will say Google will offer these other helpful tools. It will tell you that other people who searched for Henry Winkler have also searched how much is Henry Winkler worth,
Yes.
how much is Ron Howard worth, and how old is Arthur Fonzarelli.
Arthur Fonzarelli stayed about 19.
Okay. All right.
And he now owns like a Mr. Goodwrench all over the country.
A franchise.
He's franchised.
No,
Yes.
that's what I would have thought.
How do we buy in?
Yeah.
I mean, because I would
I want a
invest
piece
with
of that.
Fonzie.
Yeah.
I would definitely. So the internet would answer one of those three questions, not the other two.
Mm-hmm.
I clicked on page 18 just to randomly click on different pages of his.
And
Well-
what did it say?
Well, I found this is from the British version of Vanity Fair, and this was published in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
The scene is London. A remote news reporter from the BBC is asking random passersby their thoughts about Heathrow expansion, which is a pressing question, I would think, on any given day.
Yeah.
And he happens upon Henry,
Really randomly with Henry.
who
How
has a
about that?
parcel because he's in London. So
Yeah,
it's not
would
a
be-
package.
No, it'd be called a parcel.
It's a parcel.
Yeah,
so
right.
let it roll, John.
Hello. Oh, I was going to ask you a question. Are you a
Hello.
voter? You are.
I'm not.
Are you not?
Well, I'm a
I know
voter in America.
You're in America. I just wondered whether you were a resident here or not. Of course, I
I'm not.
recognise you, but we're
I'm just
from the
doing
BBC.
a pantomime.
Oh, of course you are.
at
Fantastic.
Richmond.
How's it going? When do you start?
It's great. We
is it great?
started. We end the 12th of
Yeah.
January.
So are you living here temporarily?
Yeah, I am. Hard to commute.
Yeah.
Two shows a day.
You can't. Very hard. It's exhausting
But I
enough
will
as it
say,
is.
we are as funny in January as we are in December.
Do you have a view on? There's a plan out today to potentially expand Heathrow, stick another runway there.
Now,
would
let me
you
ask
have a
you a
view?
question. Would that bring more people to the economy?
It'll bring more people to the economy, but more noise potentially to a place like this.
To Richmond.
Yeah.
Richmond is a lovely place. I watch the planes go every day. I hear nothing.
He's torn.
You're relaxed.
I am.
He's torn. He wouldn't take a position. He doesn't get into British politics.
No, that extra runway.
So what happened, Henry? That was 2013. Is there an extra runway?
Yeah, did it ever happen?
Okay, I have no idea. The guy asked me a question. I thought to myself, it's going to create jobs for a lot of people who need jobs, and that might be more important than noise.
Yeah. So apparently that little clip went viral, and they called him befuddled because once he realized he was talking to Henry Winkler, he didn't know whether or not to continue asking about the runway.
Right.
But he just pressed on.
I played Captain Hook in Peter Pan for it is a holiday extravaganza all over England. It's called pantomime. It was created, I think, in 1762.
Wow.
And the audience is raucous, and they talk to the characters. It was delightful.
Wow.
What do they say?
He's behind you.
Oh. I
Don't
see.
go there.
They give you tips and hints.
Yeah. Peter, that's poison.
Oh, okay.
I love that.
Wow. It's interactive.
Kids 3 years old to grandma. It's really, I wish that was in America. It is so
sweet.
Controlled chaos and so much fun.
Now, for those of you watching at home, you can see that Henry's in his office. This is not something that we often get to see.
Right.
And before the show, we were asking you to point out certain items on your desk.
This is my fan mail.
There you go.
And you were going to read or at least show us something that arrives in the mail to a Henry
Look
Winkler
at that. Just pull that one out.
on a given day.
From Jennifer.
Okay.
A random pull.
In North Carolina.
Yep.
Okay.
It's a letter.
It's a letter.
Hi. I hope this finds you doing well.
Oh.
I just had to write and tell you how much I really enjoy Better Late Than Never. NBC.
Oh, there you go.
Oh my, it was hysterical. Crazy fun. Would you send me a picture?
Yeah.
No, Jennifer.
Goodness.
I'm going to unwrap that. I'm going to send her.
Yeah, Jennifer gets
$10.
And show us the picture she's going to get because you just showed us your new headshot.
Oh, yeah. Let's see the new
It's
headshot.
quite dashing.
Yeah.
Do you have that, Henry?
Do you have that available?
Very handsome. Okay, there we go.
There it is.
How about that?
That's quite nice.
How about that?
That goes to Jenny in
North
Carolina. Yeah.
North Carolina. Hey, that's wonderful.
It's on its way.
And so, where are you going for the third season of Better Late Than Never?
We don't know if we're picked up or not. But I'm going to be very, very bold.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to brag. March is an amazing month for the Winklers.
Oh.
On March 16th,
my brother's birthday.
Okay.
Yeah. See,
there you go.
My son Max has directed his second movie with Zoe Deutsch and Catherine Hahn and Adam Scott.
Wow.
It's called Flower. Opens March 16th.
We have a trailer. Would you like us to play the trailer?
Ooh, that would be cool.
Not when I'm done talking.
Okay. Carry on.
On March 25th, Sunday, March 25th on HBO, is Barry premieres, my new show with Bill Hader.
Oh, yeah.
Bill Hader produced it, wrote it, directed 2 episodes and stars in it.
Wow.
And Barry is on HBO March 25th. I think Eastern Standard Time is 10:30. So,
okay, right now, Henry, you're producing this podcast. Which of those trailers do we show first?
My son's.
Okay, we're going to show Max's trailer. Do you have that, John?
Yeah. Here we go.
What are you doing later? Do you want to come over to my place, play Mario Kart?
I have to go meet my future stepbrother.
He just got out of rehab. Try to be nice.
Is that him? He's hot.
Oh, I know. That's Shoddy. That's the sponsor.
So that's not Luke.
No, there's Luke.
Damn. Junkies are supposed to be skinny.
So, Erica, you must be psyched to have an older brother type in the house.
Totally psyched. I get to have a complete stranger living in my home. No offense, buddy.
Babe, are you okay?
I really want to punch you in the face right now. I just don't want to ruin those lip injections that Daddy gave you.
At least my daddy is not in jail.
Oh.
Wow.
Luke's a complicated little guy. He accused a teacher of fondling him. Thinks he saw them around town.
Shaking down a child molester is our moral obligation. Nobody's going anywhere until we see this guy molest somebody.
I don't think he will. He's like a pro. That's what you get like a subterranean dungeon for.
What?
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Do I know you?
I'm sorry.
Bowling alley? You're hot old guy. Me and my friends, we've been ogling your goodies for like the last 6 months.
My goodies.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
So what's the plan?
What if we break in and tie him up?
Yeah, dom him like he's our little bitch.
Surprise! I'm not stalking you or anything. As you can tell, I have like major daddy issues.
Where were you last night?
With my friends.
Doing what?
A little bit up. You get it? No, I'm trying to find the right filter. Buying tampons, like what's it to you? What just happened? We're vigilantes. Cheers.
Are you okay?
No, I'm obviously not okay.
Where are you guys going?
To go buy some crack? You wanna throw it down?
It's okay. They're not buying drugs, Bob.
Just let him in.
No, I get the joke.
Wow, that looks
man,
wonderful.
fantastic.
Are you so proud?
Okay, so I would imagine that first of all, I'm so proud. He is a wonderful young man and a talented young man. I have such angst as a parent that this movie do well
Yes.
for him.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God.
And it's a different level than you would have had for yourself at his age?
Yeah, I was just nervous all the time at my age. I literally had to put on an overcoat in the middle of summer to talk to people.
And how did that help?
With the overcoat?
Yeah.
Oh, because I was so scared. When I was in high school, I would put on an overcoat in New York City in the sweltering heat to call a girl because I was shaking so badly.
Wow.
So
Then I played a character a few years later who was so cool and so different from who I am and was that it's like shocking.
But he sometimes wore outerwear that was possibly not essential for the climate, like a leather jacket.
You gotta always wear leather.
So Henry, you were able to get lost in that character, and
you know what? I played who I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And never was. And that was as a character actor, as soon as you change your voice a little or your body a little bit, it is like it unlocks you. Sir Laurence Olivier, one of the greatest actors ever in the history of theater, would always read a part, then he would accept it, and he would create a nose out of makeup putty, because the nose was his key. Once he found the right nose for the character, he was off.
Wow. So what's the body change that's the key to Fonzie?
Well, hey, Wheezy.
Hey. Do your shoulders change?
Oh, my God. I'll tell you something, baby. And he would just tilt to the side.
He would tilt, yes.
It was not like all your weight on one foot.
Okay. That's
great. Would putting the leather jacket on help? Would that
no, honestly, you know what happened? We would shoot the show on a Friday night in front of a live audience. At about 12 o'clock, we would arrive at the studio, and the first thing I did, I had my hair done. And as soon as my hair was Fonz-like, I then started to transform from the short Jew that I am to the short Italian I was playing.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
So you would just catch a look of yourself in the mirror and be like, "Oh, I'm him now."
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. That would help me transform.
Wow.
So we're going to talk a little bit about Barry.
You want to say that my jacket is in the Smithsonian?
Oh, no, I do want to say that.
Yes, it is.
Your jacket is in the.
That?
Yeah. And when I'm walking down the hallway,
I don't think you know who you're talking to here.
I do.
You have any idea who you're talking to?
You're talking to the owner of this votive candle.
That's right. You
do
have that. Yep.
So
Who gave that to you?
Given to you by.
Given to me by Henry Winkler, whose jacket, have I mentioned, is in the Smithsonian. So when I'm walking down the hallway...
It's so great that you mentioned that.
I mentioned it. When I'm walking down the hallway at the Smithsonian and I arrive at your jacket,
Yes.
what else is there? Because a great song
Michael
needs
Jackson's
a band.
glove.
Okay.
Archie Bunker's chair.
Wow.
Phyllis Diller's dress is all there.
What do you imagine that they talk to each other when we leave?
Do you know what? I have to tell you, the Fonz would be enchanted by Phyllis Diller.
Yeah.
I got to meet her in later on in her life, and she was fantastic, brilliant, and a painter, and funny, and warm, and just I'm lucky I got to meet her.
Yeah, just a true showbiz professional.
Yeah.
Just amazing. So we're going to talk for a moment about Barry because you brought a clip.
What is Barry?
Barry is one of the Bee Gees, and
I have their records. I have them on vinyl.
Do you? That's the best way.
So Barry's on HBO, right?
Yes, and the trailer is...
It premieres on the 25th of March.
There were a lot of billboards here in LA. I just saw one in Westwood as we were driving here today.
I'm telling you, this guy is amazing because he would produce, he co-wrote with Alec Berg, he directed 2 episodes, and he starred in every episode. We did 8. And there was never a ripple in his lake.
Wow.
He was as smooth as a lake at 5 p.m. when you water ski without a wave.
Just that pristine.
Zen.
Yes. And so you play, should we play the trailer first and then we'll talk about your character?
What a brilliant idea.
Thank you. Here is Barry.
These people I take out, they're bad people. The money's good. It's a job. Yep.
Hey, man. Are you seeing this beautiful morning? What are you doing? How are you?
What am I doing? I'm set up here like you asked me to.
Oh, right. Duh.
This heat is urgent.
This is Ryan Madison.
Familiar to my slaughterous thoughts.
Hey, man. Are you new to this class? Help me out.
Ryan, you're up.
I'm going to do the scene with him.
And action. I don't know what to say.
Wow. Wow.
The acting class made me feel really good. I feel really motivated right now. These are professional actors. They're the real deal, and they say I got something.
You're a killer, Barry.
Acting.
It's a direct conflict, being someone who anonymously kills people.
If you're going to be an actor, here's my only direction. Adapt. Adjust. Let the cat out.
When I first started in this class, I was very overwhelmed, but then I saw everyone else perform.
Alas, poor... Forgot my line.
And then it was easier. There's always a million reasons not to do something, Barry. If you want it, go for it.
This is what you do. This is all you do.
Why can't I do both things? I'm done, Fuchs. Starting now.
Yes.
Bravo! I just saw you go to a place tonight I have never seen before. Okay, I see you're still in that place. I'm going to leave you to your process. Wait till Monday.
Wow.
Love it.
So he's a hitman with a heart of actor.
You know what?
Right?
I honest to God, I have no idea how they wove these 2 stories together. He's an assassin who hates it,
right?
Who wants to be an actor, who's terrible at it,
right,
but loves it. And it's only a half an hour, the show. And I'm amazed. I am amazed, and I am grateful that I am part of that ensemble.
Oh, well,
So
you're
cool.
brilliant. Absolutely. Your character his name is Gene
Cousineau.
And is he based on anyone you know or you knew growing up?
He's based on teachers I've had, teachers I've heard about, and teachers who have actually taught right here in Hollywood for a very long time.
They can be a hair pretentious, perhaps?
A teacher?
An acting teacher, maybe?
An acting teacher, some. I had some, there was a man named Bobby Lewis, who was a member of the group theater in the 30s, who unfortunately has passed away, but a lot of who I am as an actor is because of him.
And what's their philosophy?
His philosophy was that you must own what you're doing. Relaxation is concentration. Concentration is acting.
Ooh, I like that.
And what is interesting, when I was in college, when I was in graduate school, I would perspire a lot. I would have to sometimes have 2 of the same costume because I would sweat through them. And when I learned to relax into what I was doing, I did not sweat through a costume again.
Wow. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and it kind of like it's in alignment with actually growing up, because once you're
Which
used
happened about a year ago.
Yeah, because once you get used to talking to people, it's not as scary every time you talk to a new person.
It goes once you achieve the confidence.
Right.
I think probably, huh?
Yeah.
The confidence in yourself, not in what you're doing.
Right.
I truly believe that being true to yourself. First of all, people used to say to me, "Hey, what's cool? How are you cool?" And I said, "Cool is being authentic." And once you are authentic, it is exactly what you said, Joe. You all of a sudden get great at whatever you're doing.
Right, but you have to be confident enough to be
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And knowing that yourself is not only is enough, it's the right amount. It's the perfect amount.
And you need nothing else except for yourself, and then preparation. And I also think joy, tenacity, and gratitude.
And snacks.
Always.
You're going to need,
snacks.
you may need some snacks.
Primarily chocolate cake.
Yes. So, Henry, we're a show about the internet.
Really?
Sort of, because we're not that good at it. You know, we're not experts. We just
what? Can I stop you right there?
Sure.
I've known you, Wheezy, for a long, long time.
Yes.
You're a pioneer in creating a television station. You create television. You have done documentaries. You know and are able to do a lot. I have never met Joe before, but he looks great on screen.
Yeah. Joe, next to you, Henry, Joe is my favorite person.
Wow.
Yeah, he's everything you just described. He's authentic. He's confident. He's joyful. And Lisa Goich is here in the room with us, and she's all of those things as well. And I do think
Lise.
that, you know,
Hey, Henry. Good. How are you?
Yeah, look,
Wonderful.
it's Lisa. and
Lisa, can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
Lisa, are you part of the podcast or are you a guest?
I'm a guest today.
And
just
what do you
like
do?
you.
She works at the Grammys. She's a comedian. She's an author. She's every woman. She's
everyone.
She's always creating these great enterprises. Tell Henry what you do.
I have a lot of little enterprises. I don't know. I have a company called A Girl on the Go.
Yeah.
It's to, empower young girls to be all that they can be.
Wow.
I write a lot. What else do? I wrote a couple books that were published, and that's it. That's what and I was in radio for a long time too. There's my little thing.
That's
right
Girl
there.
on the Go.
There's Girl on the Go.
There's a Girl on the Go
Yeah.
right there. That's me too.
And
That's a great logo.
Thank
I love
you.
it. Yeah.
And I love that your hair is a W for Winkler.
I did that on purpose, just for you.
So, Henry, did you know that there are so many different ways that you can receive HBO? Not only can you find HBO online, but online you can also find other ways to find and or steal HBO.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it used to be that you had to have cable to have HBO.
Right.
Now you can have Sling TV,
Sling,
Direct TV, Hulu, HBO Now is for people who do not have cable. HBO Go is for people who have cable. In either case, you can watch the show whenever you want to on demand.
Watch on your iPhone.
You can watch on your iPad, your iPhone, Chromecast, Android, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Fire Stick, Kindle Fire, tablet, Roku, all these different ways to watch Barry.
So there's no excuse to not watch Barry.
Exactly.
None.
Yeah.
And if you encounter Henry Winkler on March 27th and you haven't done your viewing,
right?
There's no excuse.
Can I just say this?
Yeah.
Just watch the first night. If I'm full of it and I'm not telling you the truth and you don't enjoy it, live in health. But I think you will be back for the second episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I'm going to be sitting there watching it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So what I want to know, Henry, is how do you and Stacy consume content? Are you still cable subscribers?
Oh, good question. Yeah.
Yes.
We are. I'm so dyslexic that I don't understand all of the other modes, and I'm so happy they're there. But we have cable. I watch a lot of television. We binge watch. We just did The Crown.
Oh, isn't it wonderful?
Yes.
And then we went and found another show called Victoria.
Yes.
Okay.
So it is the Crown in the 1800s. And to see the similarity in the history of two young women being thrust into these gigantic lives and how they dealt with it, it was overwhelming.
Yeah, it's captivating.
Yeah.
I love that. I love history in general, but royal history is just fascinating.
Have you seen Victoria?
I haven't seen Victoria yet.
Oh, you're going to love it.
So I want to start at the beginning.
Yeah,
because
there are 2 seasons.
Yeah,
we watched them within several days.
I'm concerned about Victoria. It will probably go on for like 102 seasons because I think that's how long she lives. Right, and all of European royalty
are beautiful love story,
right, with Albert
about, and how progressive Albert was. I had no idea. I thought he was tobacco in a can.
No, he invented the Christmas tree. I've heard.
Really?
Yes.
What?
And
seriously?
Really?
No, I think he was German. Didn't they send away for him?
Yes, he was. He was.
Oh, Tenenbaum.
Yes, and he brings a Christmas tree, and so now all of England is like, we do trees now. But Henry's right. That is why you would call the drugstore and say, "Do you have Prince Albert in a can?" And then if they said yes, what would you say, Henry?
Please let him out.
Let him out.
And then you'd hang up giggling. And those are the rules.
Yes.
Of the game.
Is your refrigerator running?
Yeah. I don't know if kids still do that. Does Albert still come in a can? Maybe they buy it on Amazon.
You know what? I bet it does. Yeah. But here it is. I don't see a lot of people smoking pipes anymore.
No, you really don't.
No.
I bought a pipe collection in high school.
Really?
You did?
And I thought it was like really great.
Did you smoke a pipe?
It goes out every 35 seconds.
You smoked a pipe in high school in a trench coat, Henry?
I tried.
There it is.
It's a good smell, though.
It's a good
look. I
look.
like that smell.
Yeah. It's a nice smell.
The rose infused tobacco.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
Cherry infused.
Cherry is what my dad used to smoke a cherry tobacco in a pipe. Yeah.
So Henry, you are active on Twitter, yes?
I love Twitter.
And that seems to be the social media that's grabbing you. There's Henry's.
My daughter is on Facebook,
right?
Instagram. She records my wife and she records me and my wife and me on Instagram, and then sends it out, no matter how embarrassing.
Ooh, what is her
What's her
Insta
handle?
handle?
I don't have Instagram.
Oh man, we have to look it
because
up.
I think I would die if I saw. But her name is Zoe Rhinus.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so we'll find that and enjoy it.
That's so good.
Twitter.
And now Twitter, I
love Twitter.
Right. And how do you use it?
Okay. I read the news.
Right.
I follow some incredible people who I find to be very smart about what's happening, because I am in shock.
Right.
About how we are two things. We are party before the human being.
Yeah.
We are party before country, and we are profit before population. that seems to have, that's what's happened to this great, great country.
How do you think that people get so locked into an ideology that they lose sight of what really matters?
I'm not sure.
Like, what is happening?
That is a question that perplexes me every day.
Mm-hmm.
But I noticed after the election, you were not political. And then something happened and you started being political on Twitter. Do you remember what that was?
You know, I am sometimes outraged by the lack of grace and humanity.
Mm.
Do you know, in the beginning, I said, okay, I didn't vote for this man, but he is our president. And so I'm going to go with the program. And then the program, it was like, you know, when I watched television many years ago before a dish, we had an antenna.
Oh, yes.
And sometimes you had to turn the antenna because your screen got very fuzzy.
Right.
Yes.
And it seems like the screen of America is very fuzzy every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to get a little more perturbed all the time.
It feels like a lot of celebrities are using their platform to say something that could really matter, or could make a difference, or could be the thing someone needs.
I don't know. I absolutely don't know if it makes a difference. But there are times when I retweet something and I just say, hey, just take a look.
Check this out. Yeah.
I don't try to demean or to superimpose what I think. I just say, oh, wow, this was interesting to me. This is, I think, this makes sense. Just read this and see how you feel.
So who are some good people to follow that you follow?
Okay. Van Jones.
Yes.
Love him.
There we go.
Okay. I have to go to Twitter to remember.
Yeah.
I like, that's not Twitter. Those are my pictures. That's how dyslexic I am. I think Stephanie Rule.
Oh, I love her.
Is really smart.
Yes, she is.
Nicole
Wallace. Yes, Henry's freezing a little bit.
Is really smart.
Yes, she is.
Then I Twitter about Max's movie Flower.
Yes.
Right. And then I follow CBS and I follow NBC and I follow people like that. Alex Burns. Oh, Ted Lieu, Lieu.
Yeah. He's your congressman, right?
Very outspoken congressperson.
Is he your congressman?
Joy Reid. Oh, I love George Wallace just because he's funny.
Oh, he's so funny. Do you
Andy Lassner, who is the producer of the Ellen Show.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He's very precise. Jake Tapper. I like to follow. Yeah. Kurt Eichenwald.
He's great.
God, these are all so good.
Very smart. Oh, Danny Zucker, who is a writer for Modern Family.
Okay.
He can slice and dice a human being or a subject in 140 characters.
Wow.
He is unbelievable. Those are some of the people.
Do you follow Malcolm Nance? I think Malcolm Nance knows better than anybody what's going on.
Malcolm Nance is one of my heroes.
Yeah, my hero. Yeah.
It's just extraordinary how his overview of world politics, excuse me, and how they affect America. Amazing.
Unblinking. He's just, because he's a spy. You know, you just have to keep.
I also don't think he blinks.
No, he doesn't blink, but you just have to keep, when he goes on Joy Reid, because Joy Reid is, you know, my best friend. She doesn't know, but Joy Reid is my
She doesn't know yet that she's your best friend?
Yes. And he just says things so matter of fact, and you're like, because he was a spy. So he knows what he's saying, but it's still shocking. You know, he just basically says that our president is a Russian spy. I mean, he's what do they call it? A cutout?
It is very, very scary. Now, here's my question, and it is a real question, and I don't mean I didn't I didn't mean to get into politics here, but I respect the 30% of people who totally follow the president, or maybe it's more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Have they not connected some of the dots for the first 100 days of how he lives his life, what he says, how he has probably not thoroughly helped them?
I think that for me, the name calling was so disqualifying at the start of his campaign that I couldn't get past there for a moment. So I don't know if you got past the name calling, and he didn't even have clever names. Little Marco, that's not even cute.
No.
But then it goes on from there, and it just gets worse and worse as someone that we wouldn't be looking up to as a human being, let alone as a president. So if they're not,
but here it is. What is it that I'm not seeing? What is it that I'm missing?
It could be that they're one issue voters.
Yeah.
And the issue would be abortion or guns.
Or he's one of us. He talks like we do.
That's,
when
I
we're
think,
together.
a big part of it.
Yeah.
Because they've interviewed people a year later on, like on 60 Minutes or something. That Oprah interview that she did where she interviewed those people in Grand Rapids, Michigan and asked them a year later, what do you think?
Right.
And they were like, we're still on board.
Yes.
We got the jobs.
Yeah.
We've got the... So I think that there is a complete disconnect. I just don't think that they're seeing any of that Henry just said.
He doesn't sound like a politician, and that's exactly what they wanted.
I think that's it. They want a real guy.
Yeah.
He's a real guy.
Yeah.
What happens if he starts a war, hypothetically, in order to cover crimes? What do they then say? Hey, that's the way we should do it?
God.
I don't know.
I don't know if they think that far out, far ahead.
I don't think there's enough of the country that would get behind a war.
Yeah.
That's where I feel like there might be a safety valve that would release, where there'd be the 70% of us.
People, I now have no sense of a safety valve. Right. I don't know, except if we all vote in November, if we can keep the fire.
No, I think the blue wave is definitely going to be a factor to be reckoned with. And I think if we can take back the House and the Senate, then those committees will be able to really, instead of always having somebody running interference and saying...
Oh, you mean like Devin?
It's trying to perform your job, any job, acting, when someone is in the room yelling, Hillary is a like, that would be so distracting. I have so much respect for Adam Schiff, how that guy... Like, how have you not cold-cocked this guy?
I know, exactly.
How have you not done that?
Yeah.
I wondered how Mr. Nunes, I worry about him. I'm worried. How do you breathe with your nose and your mouth that far up?
It's very difficult.
I mean, I think potpourri helps.
I know that's
a snorkel.
That
snorkel.
Helps, that just helps the
That's
smell. I don't know. How does he? Maybe he's got a breathing apparatus with him.
Yeah, it's a snorkel.
It's a snorkel.
It's a snorkel.
Is that he sold his soul like that?
Wow.
Patrick.
It's breaking news today that just a couple hours ago, Gary Cohn, the top White House economic advisor, just resigned.
Oh, we had another resignation.
Wow.
Gary Cohn.
Another one, but
Gary Cohn. Boom.
Boom. Gone.
I thought he was going to resign when the president invited all the Nazis to his birthday party.
That's right. I thought, he hung in there.
He did.
So who do we have left?
How about this?
Yeah.
On the day he was telling us that there were great people on both sides,
right?
Yes.
You had Ms. Chow
God.
on one side.
Yeah.
The president had just completely shredded her husband.
McConnell.
So what is that like at home?
Exactly.
I mean, she got her cabinet position.
He's standing there smiling while he's telling you there's great people on both sides. And he has cut her husband to ribbons.
But that's okay, because she would not have a cabinet position had not Mitch McConnell stood there in front of the Gang of Eight, including President Barack Obama, and said, we're not bilaterally, the Republicans and the Democrats are not uniformly going to release this information about Russian spying. Mitch McConnell was the guy who put the brakes on the American people knowing the truth before they voted. Mitch McConnell. Yes.
Oh.
Because I think.
Okay, so that explains Mrs. Chow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ms. Chow.
Yeah, so she'll.
And then you had Gary on the other side, and I thought, wow, what is the conversation he's having with his rabbi?
You know that old phrase, "Who benefits?"
Right.
Yes.
People are benefiting in ways that we don't know.
Yeah,
and
just not the population of America.
And I think, and don't you think, Henry, that the Russians have been bankrolling Republican candidates for the last 20 or 30 years, most likely, and they don't like the spotlight that the current president is shining on all of their depravity and all of their corruption. He's not as subtle as they have been. McConnell has been pretty subtle. Paul Ryan has been pretty subtle. Trump, not subtle.
You know, I heard that it's possible that Paul Ryan will not run again. And I thought, oh my goodness, he will have so much time to work on his biceps.
He can ride horses with Putin. Bareback. All right, so what else?
We lost the plot here.
Yeah. Let me get back to the script. Hold on.
Back on script.
I'm going to focus.
Here we go.
I'm going to focus. So
I have never been this political out loud.
It feels good, doesn't it?
So good, though.
I think it's eloquent.
Yeah.
And
these are things I'm thinking.
I'm sending Jake Tapper right over because you definitely have some things to add to the conversation.
Well, you know what? I'm bragging, but I instant message with Jake.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that. Like, because I think celebrity Twitter is a completely different Twitter. Because let's say if you're Henry Winkler and you at Malcolm Nance or at Rachel Maddow, she writes back. Am I right?
Right. I don't know. I met her once, Rachel, in the hallway at NBC, and she was running to do her show. And I just said, oh my God, I just have to, and I gave her a hug.
Aww.
That. She's so smart.
She's so smart.
She is smart, yeah.
She's my other best friend. She doesn't know it. But so when you write to Jake Tapper, like, what do you two kids get up to talking about?
Well, you know what? I thought that the last one, I thought the town hall that he did with the children and the parents in the young people in Florida,
right? I
thought was historic television. The way that they all spoke to each other. And then Cruella de Vil,
from the NRA. Yeah, wink, batshit.
She's a mom.
Oh yeah. No, but she uses that like a weapon. Like those are her guns. I'm a mom, and and you can't use your children as arsenal. That's just sick.
No.
Especially when you're actually talking about.
But anyway,
guns.
so I said to him, I thought it was historic television. I mean, it was really. It was just a wow moment.
Yeah, it really was. It was historic television.
Yeah.
Henry, do you want to stay with us while we Google Lisa?
I would like to Google Lisa.
Okay,
there we go.
It's going to get good. It's going to get good. All right, John, have you got this? Lisa Goich. She is many, many wonderful things.
Oh, pictures there.
So how would you describe yourself, Lisa?
I would, there's that term multipotentialite. I always thought that I was scattered and that I had my, irons in too many fires. But then I learned that there's a thing for it. There's a term. I Googled it and I found it.
You mean in your busy schedule, you found time to Google...
to Google multipotentialite.
Right, which is...
Well, because I actually thought there was something wrong with me, which is what we talked about earlier.
But, some people... don't finish, and they have great ideas, and they don't always. And this is probably one of the things you want to work on when you're raising kids, is that not just like, oh, you're so good, here's a trophy, but like, can you actually make a movie like Max Winkler did? Like the kid made a movie. So, and you finish things.
I do.
Yeah.
I finish things, but I don't always take them for, well, you do the same. You always have a lot of wonderful projects going.
But I think finishing is key.
Yeah, finishing is key, and just taking it, I think, to the level of, I'll take it, and if it runs the long run, then fine. If it doesn't, then I move on to something else.
Yeah, but you're really good because I couldn't find this online, but you had that thing where you would people would submit a story in one sentence.
Oh yeah, because I took it down. See
took it
what
down.
happened? That was when it was called One Sentence Period.
You should have left it up.
It was kind of awesome, and I was sending out free gifts, but I was kind of running out of money of giving people gifts. That was the problem.
I think I want a gift.
I was giving presents every week and mailing them, and really going to the post office every week and stuff. But I could rekindle that.
Yeah,
don't anybody steal my domain name.
It was a whole.
But isn't there a great saying that if you want something done, give it to a busy person?
Yes, exactly.
That's a good saying. I like that.
Yeah.
That is
Put that
true.
on a t-shirt.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's true. Well, because I'm always, even on my days off, my nights off, whatever, I go home, I'm doing stuff. I build websites for people. That's what I'm doing now. I got 3 websites going.
Jeez.
I've got,
and you work for celebrities. You've worked for very, very busy people like Carole King.
I worked for Carole King for a long time. I did, her social media. I did her website when it first came about, but more of like the research for it. I did all of the discography and, biographical stuff for her, and got to go through all of her archives, which was the coolest thing ever.
That is very
like going
cool.
through somebody's personal archives like that. It was so amazing.
Did you pocket anything?
No,
Be honest.
I did not. I'm not a pocketer.
But what a creative endeavor too, to go through all of that and then to write it and pull it all together.
It's really
awesome.
cool because you get to and then we had to we organized it all in like a timeline.
Yeah.
So we got to take all these cool pictures and letters from people and just going back, I found this letter from Mariah Carey. When she first started. She was a brand new, fresh Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
Wrote this, and I won't get into the personal nature of the letter, but it was a letter, about her, I'm a fan and this and that. And, when you look at Mariah Carey now and you read the letter, you're like, wow, totally different person.
Yeah.
But it was the new, like when Henry was talking earlier about, early on in his career when maybe she hadn't discovered that part of her yet.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Did Carol hear from Jennifer in North Carolina?
Oh, we got a lot of those. We got a lot of Jennifer in North Carolina.
Right. So what is Girl on the Go? Girl on the Go is your podcast?
Yes, Girl on the Go is it's a podcast. It's a blog.
Do you have that link, John?
I'm going to be starting shortly these Girl on the Go guides.
Nice.
I want to do a Girl on the Go's guide to breakups. I want to do all kinds of, I have a lot of little guidebooks planned that'll just be ebooks.
Excellent.
Right there, podcast,
There it
blog,
is.
books, and writing.
PBBW.
That looks like when you go to the eye doctor, it looks like a
That's
test.
kind of right. I can actually see that. That's a good sign.
You're
I'm not
really,
wearing my glasses.
but you're really
That
good at.
looks like a sandwich.
Yum! It's going to have peanut butter.
I'll have a PBB and W.
Bacon
and lettuce.
bologna
On white.
on white.
And a Kaiser.
But you're really good at branding because that really looks fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I spent 20 years in advertising.
Okay.
In the early part of my career. So that was I was a copywriter and I worked for an ad agency. So.
And you wrote a best-selling book called 14 Days, A Mother, a Daughter, a 2-Week Goodbye. You want to talk about that for a moment?
It was a book about my mom's final 14 days. And it was basically what happened is I went back to Michigan for just a long weekend. That's where I'm from. And I was just supposed to be there for 3 days. And while I was there, my mom decided she was going to stop her dialysis, which she just started. And that would mean that within a couple weeks, she would die.
Wow.
So what was just supposed to be a weekend trip home turned into a 2-week sort of vigil.
Did you think she did that deliberately because she knew that you were home?
I think that's one of the reasons she probably called me home.
Okay.
She might not admit it. I mean, she didn't, she never really said it out loud, but
yeah.
My sister was there the week before, so she was planning something because I think she was trying to gather us all together, and it was quite something. It was, because when you're there, you go through I had to go through all those stages, all the way to acceptance pretty much within 2 days.
Wow.
And once you accept it for what it is, it was a really beautiful process, which is kind of crazy to say. But I don't know if you've ever been with somebody as they were dying. It was something weirdly, magically beautiful. I don't know.
Were there conversations?
Oh, lots of conversations. That's what the book is basically based on, our conversations about everything, life and, what we go through and admitting. Well, there were 2 things I did not admit. Like when I smashed the car.
Okay.
I was going to tell her finally at the very end. I tried, and then I started saying something to her, and then she she was like, "You're such a good girl," and I'm like, "Okay, well, I think we're just going to save this one." So, I mean, the book is funny too. It's not just a sad story about somebody dying. She was a funny lady, and there was a lot of humor in it.
Do you want to read from your customer reviews on Amazon?
Oh,
because I have them for you. You've probably read them, right?
Yeah, I read them. There was one I can tell you something. An ex-boyfriend's. I gave him a free book, right? I sent him a free book.
Mm-hmm.
And his now wife, she was his fiance, read the book.
Mm-hmm.
And she gave me like 2 stars on Goodreads.
That bitch.
You're kidding me.
That's what I said.
Come on.
That's what I said.
It was a free book, lady.
That's exactly what I
book.
said. She gets a free book, and then she goes on giving me 2 stars.
Oh, my goodness.
But everybody else, it's got like 4.75 stars.
Very well received.
Wonderful.
Except for her. She took it down. But anyway, I do read them. And I know lots of people don't like reading those. It hurts sometimes, you don't want to read bad stuff about yourself.
Right, but it's mostly good stuff. So
mostly good.
Read the one that came in from Catherine.
This one is from Catherine Foss. She's actually, Catherine is a friend of a friend.
Okay.
But I didn't know her.
Right.
So my own mother died very suddenly 21 years ago, and I admit that I delayed reading this. What could it do for me besides making me sad or even envious? Well, I was wrong. Lisa is a master at telling the story of letting go, embracing death, loving your family dearly, and giving you a treasured glimpse into their humor and tenderness. It made me joyful about what my mom may be experiencing now, about our mother-daughter relationship, and about family and friend relationships. Well done, good and faithful daughter.
Wow.
Ah.
So that made you feel good, right?
It did.
And your book has a foreword by Mitch Albom?
Yes, Mitch Albom did the foreword for my book.
Wow.
Yeah, which
How did that?
I know it comes up. Well, I worked for Mitch on air for a long time.
Oh, okay.
And because the genre was so similar to the books that Mitch writes, he writes a lot of books about death. And I was blessed. Well, what he did was the foreword is actually when my mom was dying. She's so funny. When my mom was dying, she pulled me aside. She goes, "Do you think Mitch could write my obituary for me?"
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" I go, "Everybody asks Mitch to write their obituary." I go, "I can't do that. I'm not comfortable." And not kidding, like that afternoon, Mitch called and he said, "I heard about your mom, and is there anything that I can do for you?" He said, "Do you want me to maybe write something for her?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Wow.
And I said, "Well, actually, yeah, she kind of asked for that. I didn't want to ask."
Oh, my gosh.
So he wrote this wonderful story, just like he does. Like, he's so eloquent. And he wrote this beautiful story about my mom, and sort of like as she enters the gates of heaven, he's like, "Here's a note you can give them on your way in to tell you, who you are." And
wow.
And we read it at her funeral.
Oh, my gosh.
I know.
Wonderful.
I'm with Mitch. So Mitch wrote the foreword, and that was very helpful in selling the book, because I think lots of people find it because of Mitch's name being attached to it.
Yes, which is what it says.
Forever grateful
in the next
that.
review from Darcy. So I was kind of fooled because I had searched for Mitch Albom books, my favorite author, and this came up. Given that my mom passed away when I was younger, I ordered this book somewhat impulsively without actually paying attention to the fact that Mitch Albom only wrote the foreword. All of that aside, it is a wonderfully captivating read. Glad I bought this.
That's great.
See? Well, thank God she said that and not like, "What a piece of trash." 2 stars.
Bait and switch.
You see, I'm not over that 2-star thing yet.
I want Mitch.
Can I say, isn't that interesting?
Yes.
That you don't remember any good review.
All
Never.
the good reviews.
But you remember word for word.
It's so funny, Henry.
Bad
It's so
review you
true.
get.
Exactly.
But when it comes to physical mail, which we see behind you on the desk, Henry, would someone go out of their way to write you hate mail through the physical mailbox?
Almost never.
Well, you're so nice. Nobody,
Everyone
I can't even
loves-
imagine anybody not loving
Pull up
you.
yours, babe.
There you go. There you go.
Henry, is it true that when you travel with William Shatner, he gets legitimately irritated that you're so nice to everybody? I think that's so funny.
Does.
He does.
And I get legitimately irritated that he talk to anybody.
He won't talk to anybody.
I love that.
And I go, this little lady here from Japan watches you in Japan.
Yeah, right.
Hey, hello.
Like, I don't even know why did he go into show business?
I love that.
He's a really good actor, I'll tell you.
Yeah, he is a good actor.
That would be a good TV show.
So something that you should know about, yeah, exactly. Lisa is obsessed with domain names, Henry. She's obsessed with
what?
domain names, like, something or other .com.
Like some girls buy shoes, whatever, and I don't know what it is, but I can go on a tear. I will go for hours on like Namecheap is my new favorite company. I found.
Okay, so you go there and what happens?
I go there and I'll just think of, okay, what's my new company I want to start?
Wow.
Or I'll try to think of what's a cool name, what hasn't been purchased yet.
Right.
And then I go through the names. I'll just buy things that I'm going to start a company one day.
So how many do you have?
Oh, I'm probably sitting on 100 and something.
Wow, more than you have shoes.
More than I have shoes.
Right.
And when you go to them, is there just nothing there but a placeholder?
Placeholder, huh?
Well, you run through a lot that are already taken.
Like,
right?
did you bring a list of domain names that you own?
Oh, I own. I can tell you. I just know some off. These are the ones I've actually done things with.
Okay.
Right. Well, there's 14 Days, a memoir.
Yeah.
That's my book site. Then there's lisagoich.com. Of course, that's my personal site. Then A Girl on the Go, which I can't even believe I got that, but I got that in 2006.
Yep.
Working on that trademark right now. And I've got Rock and Roll Over Rover because I love dogs and my husband's a rock musician.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Rock and Roll Over Rover.
And so I thought I can do something with that. I
Yeah.
started some t-shirts, but nothing ever happened. But they're still there.
Yeah.
But I bought Rock and Roll Over Rover. Then I brought Rock in Roll Over Rover.
You got to be thorough.
Just in case somebody, I don't know. I bought, what did I do recently? I just went on I bought Motor City Pretty. I'm from Detroit.
Ooh,
So
I
thought,
like that.
Wouldn't that make a cute little clothing line?
Yeah, Motor City Pretty.
Motor City Pretty. I'm
Love
thinking
it.
about doing some t-shirts with that.
Okay.
Upcycled Detroit, because they're doing all this like work with like recycling buildings and stuff and turning them into guitars. So I bought Upcycled Detroit. I bought I don't know, so many. It's my obsession online.
Great.
Stick me in a room with a computer and a domain name company.
What's your go-to place for purchasing a domain?
Namecheap. It's my new place.
Oh, that's it, Namecheap.com. Okay, gotcha.
It's just what it says.
I wonder
It's
how
kinda
they
cheap.
got that name. They couldn't go on their site yet. So,
but it's
Henry,
affordable.
have you been to Minneapolis to visit the Bronze Fawns?
Yes, it's in Milwaukee.
Oh, Milwaukee. Sorry.
And
Google
it's down
Bronze
by the
Fawns.
river. It's on Riverwalk.
John, Google
And
the Bronze
every
Fawns.
time I go to Milwaukee,
Yeah.
I visit the statue and have my picture taken. And then other people come up and I say, "Oh, can I take your picture with the statue?"
They must freak
and they
out.
Go, "Oh my gosh, it's
you!
It's him!" And it's, "Oh my gosh!"
I can't even imagine. They must absolutely freak out that
They do.
they are there at the moment when Henry Winkler is visiting his
Like-
statue.
You know, I have to say that
Oh, there we go.
I'm pretty
There it is.
amazed that I have a statue in the first place.
Yeah.
I dreamt of this since I was 7.
Wow.
You did?
We're looking at
You
at
actually
Not a
envisioned.
statue. I dreamt of just being a working actor and
Right.
being able to support myself.
Right.
And people send me pictures with the Fonz. They dress him up.
Oh, and they put scarves on
They
him.
got scarves on them. They got hats. Yeah,
Well, you know, it can get chilly.
that's right.
Believe me.
There's more pictures of the Bronze Fawns than there are of Trump on the internet.
Oh, look at that one.
Oh, it's the St.
Is it
Patrick's Day.
Kiss Me, I'm Irish.
Kiss Me, I'm Irish.
They must have a blast. It's like having a Barbie.
You know what? And a very heavy one at that.
Oh my gosh!
That's right.
And there's
I
you
tried
with
to
him.
Put it on a motorcycle,
Uh-huh.
and it crushed the motorcycle.
Oh, they
Jeez.
did. He's heavy.
Oh,
How,
my
do you know how
goodness.
much he weighs?
Several thousand pounds.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so exciting. I mean, that's worth a trip, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But we have to knit him something nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to give him that red shirt with the female reproductive organs on it.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a great idea.
I think you need to donate that.
Oh,
What
he's
happened?
lying down.
What?
Maybe that was before they put him up.
Oh, okay.
Potsy fans erupt. What happened?
It looks like a Photoshop, but a well done Photoshop.
Okay.
Oh, it's like the Potsy fans.
Oh, so it must be true. Read it,
yes,
John.
of course.
What does it say?
It's yesterday's unveiling. So it is
What should have
probably-
been a happy day?
What should have been a happy day indeed turned into an afternoon of rage and violence during yesterday's unveiling of a statue of author Fonzie
no.
Fonzarelli in Milwaukee.
Fake news.
Yeah. The life-size bronze likeness, erected to commemorate the decade-long run of the beloved show Happy Days, was set upon by an enraged, unruly mob of Potsy fans.
Oh, fake news. Fake.
Oh, my.
I call fake news. Well, thank you so much for being with us, Henry and Lisa. This has been our most excellent show.
This was wonderful.
Watch Barry on HBO. What else should we look out for, Henry?
You know what? At the moment, I would say Flower on March 16th.
Yes.
My son's movie. And the 25th of March, Barry on HBO. I would be very happy.
Best of luck with it,
Henry.
Henry.
So happy I was here. And nice to meet everybody.
Yes, nice to meet
thanks,
you.
Henry.
It's a busy month for the Winklers.
It is.
After seeing that trailer, I'm taking all of my roommates to see Flower.
Oh,
I love that trailer.
Yeah.
But I want to say Zoe Deutsch is truly a major star. She lights up the screen.
Wow.
From that trailer, I absolutely believe it. I can't wait.
Thank you.
We're so excited to have you with us, Henry and Lisa Goich.
Thank you.
Joe
Yeah.
Cipriano. And did I mention his lovely wife, Ann Cipriano, is in the room. She's auditing the class.
Yeah. Auditing the class. That's right.
And we love you, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye now.